So, for those who don't know, I did go to college for a very short period of time, for one semester. Now, it wasn't real college, it was community college or junior college. And if you don't know what that is, pretty much it's for criminals and morons like me who couldn't get into real school. That's where they go. And sometimes people will use it as like a stepping stone to get into, real college or whatever you want to call it. And also old ass people will go here. They're just like, oh, well, I'm 86 years old, so let me go to college and learn some shit for absolutely no reason. So in my Com 100 class, there was 4 people who were under the age of like 68. It was me, Sarah, who I actually hadn't really met yet, this girl, and I'm being completely dead ass, this other guy in this class. His name was Starbuck. I'm being so serious. So, this girl, we had small talk before, but like not really like anything crazy, nothing intensive. And she just came up to me one day and she's like, hey, do you want to come smoke later? And I'm like, hell yeah. First of all, when somebody says, do you want to come smoke? That means they want to fuck. Generally. And I'm just like, okay, you're an extremely attractive woman. I would appreciate smoking and or doing sex and fucking with you. Potentially. That would be very nice. So yes, I will come over and smoke later. So later comes around and she lives like right across from the school. So like, I could have just walked over there, honestly. And I walk into an absolute fucking war scene. Now, at first, they were passing around this plate. It was her and a couple of her friends, actually. They were passing around this plate that had these white lines on it. And I was like, oh, okay. She's this kind of girl. And I found out it was not cocaine. It was ketamine, special K, whatever the fuck you want to call it, horse tranquilizer. At this point, I had never done this shit before, so I thought it was cocaine up until I asked her what it was, and she was like, yeah, that was K. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And at this point, I didn't know what K-holing was or getting too fucked up on K was. All I know was I felt fucking decent. Like, this shit was nice. Like, I can understand why people do this shit. And you motherfuckers know in those cartoons, like Looney Tunes and shit, you'll just see a motherfucker pull out a bat out of nowhere. That's what she did with this tinfoil contraption that she was freebasing this pink shit on. I'm just like, yo, what the fuck is that? Like, I've never seen anything even close to that. She just passes it to me, and I'm like, fuck it. I like that shit. And then I asked her what that shit was, and she's like, that's pink. I'm like, pink? Like, what the fuck? She's like, yeah, that's what it's called. It's pink. It's like a research chemical. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I'm slightly concerned at this point, for good reason, because the high hadn't hit me yet, and it seems like seconds after she just finished her sentence, it hit me. And I'm not in the glorification of doing shit that can kill you, and this can definitely kill you. This is basically like a synthetic opiate, and I don't even think it's for like human consumption since it's a research chemical. And I'm not just saying this because for legal reasons, just be like, oh, don't do drugs are bad, all that fucking stupid shit. I'm telling you, don't do this because this is one of the least enjoyable highs I've ever had. And honestly, it might be the reason why I'm so fucked in the head these days. So the only way I can fucking describe this shit, think about your head being put in like a woodworking vise. You guys know in like shop class in high school, how you have like woodworking, and then when you're like trying to like screw something into a board, you put that board into a vise. That is exactly how my fucking brains felt like. It felt like my skull was literally getting crushed by a fucking tire in a bad way. Like, I don't even think there's a good way to fucking describe that feeling. Like, it was terrible, and I'm just like, holy shit. I'm like so fucked up. Like, I have like the spins, and I'm just like, I gotta smoke a fucking joint to balance this shit out. And I later found out that this high was extremely short. Like the K high, I don't know, how long are you high on K for? Like an hour and a half maybe. This stuff was like 5 minutes, bro. Like this shit is how I would imagine crack is. And no, motherfucker, I've never smoked crack before, even though I said I've smoked crack. It's a fucking joke. So one thing leads to another. She grabs my hand and we go into her room. And I think you guys know what that means. And I don't want to sound cool. I don't want to act like I get all these fucking bitches. It just so happens that the most insane women in the world ever are just attracted to me. I don't fucking know, dude. I look fucking hilarious. I look like a fucking crackhead. I look like I'm into a whole bunch of insane shit. But that's just how it is. The game is the game, if you will. So I don't think there needs to be any explanation on what we did. You know what? Fuck it. I'm into being cringe. I'm into being uncomfortable. We got in the fucking bedroom. We did the normal shit. She was sitting on my lap. My thing may or may not had been pulsing profusely. Maybe her legs were up in the air. Toes were curled. She was fucking squirting and shit. And, I feel like that's enough of a detailed description of what happened. And I knocked the fuck out. Like, I'm just so fucking... I'm high on, like, 3 drugs. I just need to fucking relax. And I wake up a couple hours later to her, like, touching my face and shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And basically... She was really nice. She was a really nice girl. She was a nice crackhead. A very nice crackhead. Very hospitable. And she pretty much just says how, like, I have to leave or whatever. And I was just about to say, hey, I'm about to head out of here. Anyway, and, it was nice meeting her and whatnot, even though it wasn't. But, no, she was genuinely a very nice person. So this is not somebody that I'm going to say anything bad about. She just happened to be a massive fucking crackhead, and I hope that, she's doing well these days. So that is the story about smoking a research chemical known as pink that I don't recommend because you will die. So anyway, I'll see you guys.